Blessed Carlo to be, St. Carlo Acutis, was known to have a great devotion to St. Francis of Assisi. Because of that, it was the place where he wished to be buried as well. Just a little less than a month ago, on the 15th of August, a new statue depicting the St. Carlo to be was set up in Assisi. It is outside the place of his burial, the shrine of the Renunciation of the Church of St. Mary Major, which, if you've been to Assisi, is just around the corner from the Basilica of Blessed Clare, of St. Clare. It is there where our first millennial saint is buried. In the statue, he is kneeling beside the crucified Christ. As he is kneeling, he's holding a laptop. And the display on the laptop is a chalice and a paten, which symbolizes his use of technology to spread devotion to the Eucharist while he was still alive. Carlo was born on May 3rd, 1991, in London, England, to Andrea Acutis and Antonia Salzano. His father's family worked in the Italian insurance industry, and his mother's ran a publishing company. His maternal great-grandmother was born in the United States and came from a family who was from New York. Carlo was baptized on the day of my ordination, of all days, May 18th of 1991. He was baptized in the Church of Our Lady of Dolors in Chelsea, England. His paternal grandfather, Carlo, was his godfather, and his maternal grandmother, Luana, was his godmother. Interestingly, neither of his parents were religious. They worked in London and in Germany before Carlo was born, and then moved to Milan shortly afterwards, in September of 91. They worked in the family businesses, and he was cared for by an Irish nanny. Aside from a few visits to a daycare center, most of Carlo's early care came from nannies. But during one daycare visit, he was bullied by other children. A Polish nanny, who thought that he was being too nice, tried to teach him to set boundaries so that the other children would not take his toys. He replied, "Jesus would not be happy if I lost my temper." Even from an early age, he had a difference about him. Upon completing middle school, Carlo went on to study at the Jesuit Institute of Pope Leo XIII High School in Milan. Although he was an average student, he liked to read, and he pursued other academic areas independently, including computer science, and then teaching himself how to play the saxophone. He loved playing video games, from video series or game series such as Halo, Mario, and Pokemon. Although his mother claims that he would give himself just 1 hour of gaming per week to avoid addiction. We should spread that to all of our kids today. Just 1 hour a week to avoid addiction to computer games. Very important. On the 16th of June in 1998, when he was 7, Carlo received his first communion at the convent of St. Ambrogio in Neimus, Milan. He was a frequent communicant, and he attended Eucharistic adoration on a regular basis. He was confirmed 5 years later on May 24th in 2003 at Santa Maria Segreta Church in his hometown of Milan. His family life. His mother, Antonia, grew up in a secular family. She was confirmed when she was in college and was married in the church, but she did not attend Mass before Carlo was born. She testifies that her son's faith and his insistent questions about the faith led her back to the church. Carlo would inspire others, many others, as well. When he was 12, he became a catechist in his parish. At the time, Italian catechetical structures typically relied upon young team leaders in their youth groups, as contrasted with adults, to deliver religious education to their peers as teens. Carlo's parish priest said this about him: Carlo was a young man who was exceptionally transparent. He really wanted to progress in loving his parents, in loving God, his classmates, and even those who loved him less. He wanted to apply himself in his studies to educate himself in his catechism class, as well as in school and in computer science as well. One of Carlos's nicknames is the cyber apostle of the Eucharist. People around Acutis considered him a computer geek due to his passion and skill with computers and his acuity with the internet. When he was 14, his parish priest asked him to create a website for his parish. A priest at his high school asked him to create a website to promote volunteering, and for his work, he won a national competition called Sarai Voluntario, which means, in English, you will be a volunteer. Carlo created a website that was dedicated to cataloging each reported Eucharistic miracle throughout the world. He maintained a list of the approved Marian apparitions of the Church. He launched the website in 2004 and worked on it for 2.5 years, involving his entire family in the project. It was unveiled on the 4th of October in 2006 on the Feast of St. Francis. It was only days before his death. Because he was hospitalized, Carlo was not able to attend the debut of his exhibition at Rome's Church of St. Charles Borromeo. The exhibition was also presented at his high school Pope Leo XIII Institute. If you were to go to our own computer lab here at Little Flower School, you would find his catchphrase. It is this: "We are all born originals, but many die as photocopies." His point: we each have a unique journey to holiness. So, let us this weekend call upon St. Carlos to be his intercession so that we may do 3 things. First is to live your true self, not a photocopy. Have the courage to be who God made you to be, especially when it's difficult. Secondly, embrace your divine calling. God has a unique plan for each of us, and by staying original, one can fulfill that calling and find true joy. We call upon Carlo's intercession to a call to holiness. The idea of being an quote-unquote original calls each of us to strive for holiness. This is a unique path to heaven for each of us. I would invite you as you leave today to notice in our bulletin we have a handout on St. Carlo Acutis. In the handout are steps to sainthood for each saint, information about his website, and also the 2 miracles that are attributed to him. The Church believes that after someone has died, they must have a miracle attributed to him in order to become beatified. Then after beatification, there must be another miracle in order for the saint to be canonized. So let us pray for the intercession of our new saint in a few hours, St. Carlo Acutis, that we may know God in many ways and be, as he said, be true to our call of being born as originals, but avoid being photocopies.